and Professor will also be joining the call. I'm not totally sure will he be available today, but yeah, frequently he will be joining the call. Most queries you can ask around assignments or with respect to theory or with respect to lectures also. Uh, the floor is yours. You can go ahead with your queries, whatever you have.
Yeah, so this is the first session. So as you know, I mean, in the syllabus we have not covered so many things. So we won't teach you anything in the first session. So you may ask the queries like the first session was all about setting up Google Cloud account and yeah, using Vertex. Okay. Uh, so if you have, I think many of you were posting some queries on Discourse at or at some other place. So feel free to ask. We will help you here. Okay.
Yeah, Kaushik, go ahead.
Hi, just a quick question. Will we be have to will, is a prior knowledge required for the command line interface to be used for Google Cloud, or is that going to be covered as part of the course, or are we expected to know that already?
No, GCP console is not needed. Like you can always use a UI part of the GCP cloud portal itself to achieve any of the stuff you might need command line for. But this will not be taught. We have shared you enough resources, I believe, with respect to console of GCP. Uh, Feel free to explore if you want to, but UA is sufficient in itself to achieve any of the adding the clustering or managing your clusters or managing your resources as needed.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
So Yash, go on.
Hi. So, my question is, will we be taught how to use the Vertex AI as an API in any other place other than the GCP, or will we also be taught to use it in, let's say, a local dev environment like VS Code, or some place restricted, let's say workplace Databricks? How to use the API, how to use the authentication, service account setup, and all.
Yes, as you go through, you will be interacting with these things. But it would I mean the primary objective will not be as part of teaching how do you control all these things, but as you go through the assignments, just as an example of intro to big data course also, as you go through assignments you will come across all these situations where how do you manage the authentication while kind of uh, managing your clusters from your local environment itself. So you will face these problems, so you will learn eventually, but it will not be taught as part of the lectures, but you will come across that. We believe you will have a better idea once you come across. Vivek Bajaj.
Yes, sir. So my question was, when we are doing Vertex AI, will we be doing both AutoML and customer training, or only we'll go for customer training?
uh, Currently we are more on not on totally on the Vertex AI features itself. I believe the week 1 totally introduces you to various features of Vertex AI.
Mhm.
But we will be concentrating on more of a cluster provisioning and how do we manage the life cycle after that. Training part, data management training, we don't care much about it, but we care more about artifacts of training, like how do we track the experiments or data, as well as how do we deploy over the period of time. uh,
Okay.
yeah.
So the data, that's my second question, sir. So the data, will we be using the BigQuery, or will be using just
For data tracking, or what are you referring, Vivek?
so it the Google Cloud has a this feature called BigQuery ML, where
Mm-hmm.
you can, I mean, if you have the data in table form, you can
Mm-hmm.
run the pipeline from there only. Will we be doing that? Or,
We'll not be going for BigQuery, but we'll be going for feature stores, which is
okay.
part of feast, yeah, it can be. It is part of GCP also. You might end up using feature stores to start your automated training processes, etc.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Kartikeya Singh, do you have any question?
Yeah, I've articulated it in the message I've written, but basically it's a logistical issue. Since our OPP2 is on 24th August, uh, and our week 1 and 2 deadlines are on like 25th May, I think it's clashing. It's not clashing, like the 90 days of GCP free trial aren't sufficient there. They will end before OPP2. So, like, just to resolve this logistical issue, would it be possible to push week 1 and 2 deadlines by 5 to 6 days? Because otherwise we'd have to maybe add some more money, or maybe get a second account to run the GCP free trial with. So it's just a matter of 5 to 6 days, I think.
So
Okay.
Karthik, let me discuss it internally with the team. Okay, and then we will let you know. For now, I think the option there are two options. First is that you should add another account, or you should add some money in this account only. Okay, so this is the option available for now. But since earlier I think Sai has already started this discussion, and at that time we reached at the conclusion that we won't change the date because OPP changing the date of OPP is bit difficult. Okay, but
No,
assignment
no,
deadline
not.
can be changed. Yeah, I understand. I was talking about the our old discussion. Okay, so that let me discuss it with the team internally, and then I'll let you know in a 1 or 2 days. Okay, tomorrow is Thursday, no? Yeah, by
Thank
Friday,
you.
you
Okay.
will we will let
Thank
you
you.
know.
Thank you.
Any other queries and any other issues? How many of you guys have went through the lectures? I'm curious right now. Just okay. Okay. Um, Anybody have any particular issue with GCP
Um,
activations?
so I want to ask about the GA. So in the GA, in IBD GA, there used to be a report that we had to write. So here we don't have to write that report, right?
Yeah, Sharmana. We don't need report, but we are like consistently sharing that all the steps that you have taken to achieve the objective should be part of your video. You
Mm-hmm.
can take a look at the form also where the steps are clearly underlined for clarity, to kind of double check with whatever your video and expectation is. Okay,
Okay.
so
So like in the
document is
README,
not needed.
yeah. So in the README file, what should we include actually? Like the objective of each file. So we should just say that this file is.
Yeah, it's more of explanation of the file. Basically, you might upload some of the files in zip file. uh, there might be script.py. The naming might be script.py, but the objective is to start the pipeline and execute some actions of the pipeline, right? So it's more of just an explanation of what does that particular file, does that particular file contribute to the objective. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so in the GA, it is asked to follow the steps that were shown in the lecture. And in the lecture, it ends at, I guess, saving the model in GCS.
Yes.
But uh, in the collab notebook, so there are like much more steps that are written down, like building the fast API server and all these. So do we need to do those, or we don't
No,
need
no,
to?
only setting up your training loop is needed. More of like dumping the model into your JCS. Uh,
Okay.
then from that point on, like you will use all the other tools to integrate MLOps pipeline. Yeah.
Okay, so
As
like
part of
in
your
this,
next assignments. Yeah.
oh, okay, so in this GA only we need to save the model.
Yes.
Thank you.
Aman Verma. Do you have any question?
No, no. I had the same question.
Okay.
Sorry, I may have missed it. So, did you say you have to just save the model for this GA, for the first GA?
Uh, just follow along the video lecture, hands-on lecture that's been shared.
Okay, okay.
Archit Handa.
Yeah, it was, I think, raised in the G space as well. The OPP for MLOps and GenAI are clashing. And some of us have taken both the subjects.
Okay.
It's
We'll get
OPP.
back on that, Archit.
Okay,
Earliest by Monday, we'll have a clarity on that.
all right.
Okay. Archit, if possible, could you help me with what is the expected time for Gen AI OP? Is that
Uh,
4 hours or 2 hours?
on the calendar, I think it's just 2 hours. Let me just open the document.
Uh, is this part of the grading document available?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'll refer that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's clashing with the OPP2 of MLOps with GenAI.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, Andran, I'll go on.
Yeah, hello, sir. This I just have a request regarding the grading policy. So in assignments, we are supposed to we will be working on a lot of things and uh, basically recording and probably doing all these things, whatever you are going to learn. So, but only 10 marks is assigned for these activities, and it's a hands-on course. So, can this be at later point if it is required? Can this be like refined a little bit?
No, Indran, I think we kind of finalized on the kind of total
Okay.
scores for both the practical subjects. I think intro to big data as well as MLOps. So I think this will stay. And for the same, I mean, again, we are prioritizing the more of practical side of the things. That's why OP has larger weightage, I believe. OP 1 and 2, around 60%, if I'm correct. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
And also see the GAs are like whatever prof is doing, same thing you have to do. Okay, so I mean you are not doing, I mean too many things, right?
Yes.
And also I think you know that I mean people, I mean very few people do it properly, and other people mostly in the upcoming batches they will just copy things. So that's why.
Okay, understood.
Since we were on topic of OPP, the OPPs are supposed to be 3 hours long, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but the slots that have been assigned for MLOps, one is just for the OPP one is just 2.5 hours, and OPP2 is just 1.5 hour in the grading document.
Okay. We'll rectify that. We'll get back to you, Archit. Any other queries on lectures?
Okay, so if you have not, if you don't have any queries, then maybe you guys can start to give sharing your experience. Like, what was your expectation and things are. I mean, would like to get your feedback. Like, if things are, I mean, the course is meeting your expectation or not, or what is your opinion? Anyone can say.
Hi. So yeah, I have gone through a few lectures. I have also taken the ML, not ML, that IBD last term. So compared to this course and the lectures are well recorded and it's feeling good little bit, even much better as compared to IBD.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Any comments in terms of, I mean, the content quality or something, the things which are getting delivered? I understand it's just week 1 and we have just shown you the Vertex AI, nothing else.
So hi.
Yeah.
In terms of the broad sketch of what's going to be covered, like the broad topics, is it possible to just give me that? The professor had covered a bit, but I was not clear is like, say week 1 to this is going to be this primarily, and week so and so to so and so. This is going to be the broad topics that are going to be covered.
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to share now, or do you want?
Yeah, if you can, yeah.
Yeah. So it's more of first 2 weeks we'll understand the first week will be more on the understanding the GCP as a platform side and their offerings. Week 2 will be mostly on what is kind of a data, what types of data are generated as part of ML life cycles, and how do we handle that with using versioning. And week 3 will be around how do you optimize your training and inference loops using feature stores, as well as your code versioning part of it using GitHub. Then you move on to more on the CI/CD pipeline side, continuous integration and continuous delivery. The deployment side where you might use Fast API for some of the assignments, as well as GitHub Actions to automate your pipelines based on your branch commits. Okay, uh, and continuous integration side, you might also interact with PyTest to automate your validation test or benchmarking if possible, or more of just getting the expectations validated. Uh, I yeah. Let me go to week 7. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, week 7 is more on the monitoring, performance monitoring, and optimization side of the things. Again, week 7 is where most of the ML pipelines will be accomplished or completed in most of the organizations. Week 8 is more on security. Uh, week 9 is more on ML governance, and week 10 and 11, 12 will be more of advanced topics on large language modeling and their inference structures, etc.
Okay, thanks. And so, in terms of the learning outcomes of this course, once you go through it, you kind of expect the people to be hands-on with being able to deploy the model and safely iterate through those things for productionizing them. Is that the objective?
Uh, Again, it's more of like introduct. I mean, I believe if I get it correctly, it's more will be more of like you will have a idea about what parts of what tools needs to be used in every part of the ML life cycle, and how do they contribute to the pipeline itself in a way like robustness, security, or how do they contribute? Why part of it?
Right,
Uh,
right.
at the end of the day, again, these pipelines are more of a like Lego blocks, right? Like for some use
Hmm.
cases, you might use them. For some, you might not end up using them. So, but by the end of the course, you know what are the blocks available for you to choose, pick and choose, and you will be in a position to at least come up with a pipeline and integrate it based on the use case.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And sorry, just one other question is how close is the content to the recommended book, suggested books? I think there are 3 books that were suggested. So is the course kind of a combination of all those books, or is there one primary book that we can follow for this?
Okay. Let me. Kaushik, I think. Could you share the name of the book? I think I missed that particular document where books are available.
Uh, okay, just a second. Yeah, just give me 2 minutes. I'll just catch
Sir,
it.
I've shared the link for that. You can go to the last of the page and find
Yeah,
it.
there it is. Correct. So I'll just copy. I think it's there in the link.
This will be. I mean, again, I think uh, this will be more on the picking best parts of all the books mostly. But if you're more keen on like going through the book that gets priority of the attention will be on building ML powered applications. So that gives you better idea about all the moving parts of the life cycle. Yeah.
The first book, right? Building machine learning powered applications going from idea to
Yes.
product.
Yes.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
But from week 7 again, you're talking about monitoring and performance. Then you need to take care of reliable applications. Uh, okay. Any other queries?
Maybe a silly question. So
Yeah.
you have books from Hugging Face also available in GCP, right? So how do they work? And there seem to be other models that are available in GCP also separately to the Hugging Face models.
Mhm.
So do we have to view it like GCP provides an infrastructure where you can use models that are available in the model garden, including what's there in Hugging Face? Is that how we should look at it?
Yes, yes. Yeah. I mean, the question, I mean, initially Hugging Face used to be more of a model repository. Right now, they do offer deployment or all the
Correct.
compute power. I mean, they kind of evolved into that. But for GCP, it's more of like they use Hugging Face as more of a open source model provider as a repo. But infra will be from GCP itself. The where do you run the models is from GCP, so your cost will be associated with that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Hello.
Yeah, Ganesh.
Yes, I
Hello.
have a question. Uh,
Yeah.
if one wants to let's say build and deploy a machine learning model, uh, most uh, the most common use case being individual people using it for single prediction at a time. Like
Mm.
we most often use such models for risk scores in various diseases. So I myself have a couple of models which I would like to deploy probably in the near future. So is GCP a reasonable option, or are there other less expensive options available out there? Like we have to maintain this for years together.
Uh, Ganesh, could you repeat? There is your voice is a bit blurry. Uh, are we talking about
So
deploying deep learning applications or ML side of it?
it's a let's say a ML application, a simple score, let's say a 20 parameter score or something.
Mm-hmm.
We want to deploy. It will be some kind of an endpoint deployment where users will be provided with a link, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they will possibly enter the values through a HTML form kind of a setup, and a score and a risk score and a small explanation will be provided to them. That's all the service will be.
Okay.
And backend, the prediction will of course be made by a machine learning model.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and such a this thing should be available for everybody out there, and may have to be maintained for years also. So not much of changes will come about in the model per se,
Mm-hmm.
but once uh, deployed, it should be accessible on the same link for a really long time.
Yes, I think there are two ways to this particular side of it. One is, I mean, it's basically dependent on your traffic. Let's assume you might have a traffic which is quite heavy, and there will be no patterns in your deployments. Then you might go for server side of the deployment. That means like you might kind of deploy or kind of like start your VM and start deploying it. Then you use network infra from GCP to assign a public IP to it. Okay, and keep that IP intact over the period of time, even if you restart your VMs. The other part is if your latencies are like, sorry, not latencies, but your traffic is low, this particular endpoint is not being utilized. I mean, it's more of a like, let's assume that this endpoint is only needs to be available for 1 hour a day, more of for analytical processing or something. Then GCP also provides something called cloud functions. These are serverless options where once the request comes in, this particular machine boots up and serves the request and sleeps again. So you have more of like, you don't basically hog on to the compute resources when you're not when there is no workload. That will be more cheaper option. But given you are saying that it needs to be there for years, uh, if the traffic is high, it would be better if you go for more VM side of the things. But yeah, you will have alternatives everywhere. You have AWS, Azure is also an alternative.
Okay. Basically, like you had asked about the volume. Volume may not be very high, compared to the other kind of deployments that we have. Volume may be low, but the whenever it's demanded, it has to like have a very quick response time. Can't have a long latency because people typically do this bedside. They type in few parameters and get a score, and then use that prediction and move on. So typically
Okay.
we would expect almost seconds in terms of latency at best. Uh, and would it be like, can we simply build a model and use non GCP or AWS kind of solution and entirely host it on a server or something, such solutions?
Yes, you can do that, but again, you might need to have your own internal network team to kind of expose your IP outside using Cloudflare or CloudFront as more of a CDN providers, or how do you serve basically. And you also need to maintain your own infra to make sure that that particular VM is not shut down, or you might need to have regular maintenance also, right? Like, so these costs will not be there if you deploy in GCP. Uh, I mean, maintaining these servers or keeping them alive, or fault tolerance in a way. Like what happens if one of my computer is down? Server basically. Like, should I have alternative to that? So fault tolerance is like heavily available with respect to GCP, but when you do it in more of a barebone infra within your particular internal deployment, then you might need to take care of all these things. But let's assume that again, you can Google this, I believe, but for every startup or a organization, there will be a certain limit where cloud providers are beneficial. After certain threshold, internal infra is beneficial. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
I have another question. If no one else has, can I proceed?
Sorry, Ganesh, repeat.
I have another question.
Yeah,
When, let's say, we have a model which is under development. Let's say you have
yeah.
like you develop it at a single center, and then you want to be able to generalize it. Let's say we'll keep it simple and say that it is a ML kind of a model only. But in healthcare, typically the problem is with data sharing. So there is a concept of federated learning where you can actually integrate data resources from several centers without actually without the center sharing the data to a central database. So it's something like a decentralized learning without
Mhm.
actual sharing of data. Is that federated learning kind of setup also possible in these cloud platforms?
uh, I haven't tried that much on healthcare side. But yeah, I believe there are. I think AWS SageMaker might have these deployments. I mean, training loops. I believe because they do
Okay.
most of their healthcare AI with respect to HIPAA compliance, right? So I think
Okay.
they
Okay.
do support it. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah. Any other queries, guys?
There were some concerns about the clash of OPP. Uh, has that been resolved with
Uh,
GenAI and
yeah,
MLOps?
yeah, Lauren, we'll get back by Monday. We
Okay,
have noted that. I think Ganesh also raised in the discourse forum. Yeah.
okay. These live sessions will be in the form of a question and answer kind of thing, or are you going to be walking us through some content, or how is it going to be?
Sorry, Lovelin, like your voice is muffled a bit. Could you repeat whatever you just said?
I think what will be the format of these live sessions? Will they be a question and answer kind of sessions?
Yeah, yeah, it will be mostly on that side itself, like discussion on the content, and it will be more of like there will be a monologue on content and how does that affect by the professor. Then from that point, it's more of queries you might have based on the content or real world scenarios you might wanted to have answers on. Everything works. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man, go on.
Uh, So could we have these sessions on weekends or a bit later if we are going for weekdays? Because it's really difficult for I'm working, so it's difficult to catch up.
Uh, No, I mean, I think from whatever the feedback we got for intro to big data, I think weekends is also not a better option. So we thought it would be better for working professionals to, I mean, kind of start the sessions at night. So that's why we fixed on Wednesday. Uh, yeah, I think
So
this
I
is the way
mean,
we
could
go.
we?
From feedback next time, maybe we might try to modify it, but we kind of finalized on this Wednesday at night for this term at least.
I mean, could we at least shift the session to 8:30 or something?
Uh, Jimmy can comment on that.
Would be tough to do because I think the session, whatever we have planned, no, it is based on the other seeing the other course timelines and everything. So, and also like based on props availability. Okay, so we don't have problem, but yeah, I mean now after once the course has started, it would be tough to change it. Okay, so yeah, as I told you, there are two concerns. First, props availability. So he has suggested us this time, and apart after that, I mean seeing the other course schedule. Okay, so yeah, just seeing these two things, we have decided this timeline. So mostly it won't change for this term at least.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, until and unless like will be so many people. Okay, like who has this at this schedule. Okay, so yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, if you don't have any questions, then we can close this. Or I mean, I would like to have this discussion. So, how should we plan these sessions also? I mean, as of now, like what me and Sai has been thinking is that so mainly we'll discuss the doubts. Okay, because like Prof he himself is doing that hands-on session, and same thing if we will just repeat it here, that won't make much sense, especially I mean in these degree level courses. So that's why we are not going to do that. I mean, at least for now, we are not planning that. Okay, and in some week, if required, we can have that type of sessions also. But yeah, for now, and apart from this, if you guys have any suggestions which we can do in the session, so we will be happy to do that. Okay. Yeah. Anyone? I mean, if you guys have any suggestions for us, I mean, how
See,
we
in
should.
the yeah,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this Naveen, yeah, in the videos that we are watching, especially the
Mm-hmm.
videos which are about the hands-on activities,
Mm-hmm.
we're missing out the big picture. Those videos are typically containing a series of maybe 100 clicks to be done in a certain sequential order, and we are all just following it like I have to click here, I have to click here, and then I have to click here. That's typically the thing that we all do in these cloud portals. So if there can be some discussion on the bigger picture, the relationships between things, or certain tasks have to be done in certain order.
All right. All
because,
right.
yeah, because
Uh,
currently what I was thinking was maybe I go through that entire lecture and I start building out my own notes in terms of what is the sequence in which things have to be done, and some of these pieces I believe are going to be reused at multiple places and multiple lectures. Okay, so what are those building blocks? Because we are doing these things in a lecture 1 hour video, but then this 1 hour video is not just one task, it is actually doing maybe 10 different tasks, and those small building blocks are going to be reused. So we can have some discussion around that. Maybe some content could be shared in form of slides, or in these live sessions we can discuss that big picture.
yes, lovely. Like, yeah, we will go through that. Yep.
Thank you.
But for week 1, it's more of kind of we are setting up the dependencies for upcoming weeks to go on with the other tooling. So that's why you might feel as if that is more of a you're going to Vertex AI with a sequence of steps and achieving them, but you will get the part of why that particular tool needs to be integrated in from week 2.
All right. Any other points? I mean, this is a good point. I also observed that, yeah, in the first week, basically, Prof is showing you first target was just to optimize the cost. I mean, how we can come up with the, I mean, optimum cost. Okay, and then after that, yeah, since the tool is completely new, I mean, you are most of you might be exploring this vertex AI for the first time, so it might be looking like, yeah, I mean, he is clicking here and there. I mean, and is doing certain number of steps. So yeah, but as I is saying, so it's like no, I think Prof has clearly said in his lecture that the main aim of this course is not to, I mean, build any models or anything. Okay, the main aim is directly to, learn everything else which is required to take your model to the production level. Okay, for that, I mean, step by step, each in each week we will learn few parts of it. Okay, and slowly, I mean, once you will go reach to the last part, no, then you will see that, yeah, okay, so like this we entirely create the pipeline and everything. Okay, so that's the thing. But apart from that, yeah, I mean, yeah, this something like this we can have in this session. Okay, uh if any other sessions, if you guys have, then we would like to hear that also.
So maybe we could float some G forms every week before the
Yes.
session so that we could put in our problems there.
That makes sense. Yeah, we can have that. Okay, yeah, the sessions will be recorded, right?
Hi,
Yes.
sir. Ashwin here. So this is again an operational issue. I think the issue of OPP2 was already brought up just a few moments ago, as well as in the beginning
Correct,
of the
correct.
session. So this question is about the creation of the accounts, right? So would it be possible for the team to push the deadline for week 1 and 2 to somewhere around 30th of this month? Because as far as how I'm seeing it, with the free accounts, we get 90 days like free trial with our personal accounts. So even if we were to make a personal account, right now complete our assignments, we would end up having to make another account sometime in the mid of August or something like that, which on our end would be kind of waste of a lot of free resources that are given to us by GCP, right? Because we'll only be essentially using it for maybe around 15 days, 20 days, something like that. So
Yes. So
could this
there
be
are
considered?
few things. Yeah, yeah. So Kartikeya has already, initiated this discussion at the beginning only. Okay. What is as per current information, uh, what the professor suggested is that so you can create another account or you may add some money. Okay, so this is what he has suggested for now. But at that time we had a discussion that, yeah, OPP2, I mean, it would be tough to shift OPP paper. Okay,
Right. That's
but
what
now I think,
I was
yeah,
worried about.
right, right. So now I think, yeah, this is another option where we can just shift the deadline for graded assignment, which seems
Yeah,
possible to me at least. Okay, so I'll have this discussion and I'll let you know.
surely,
Okay,
sir. That would be very
yeah,
helpful. Thank you so much.
okay, thanks. Okay, if you don't have any doubts, so can we close this session?
Uh, okay. Thanks everyone. Feel
Yeah.
free to reach out as part of Shard, GChat, or Google Space or Discourse with your queries. Okay. Hi, good night. Go on with your query.
Hi. I know this was discussed earlier as well, but is there any possibility of shifting this session even by half an hour,
Okay,
by eight to
we'll get
eight
back
at
to
least?
you.
Because I'm also a working professional, and for me, I have to be available till 8, and then post 8 only I'm available. So today also I joined half an hour late for the session. So
We'll have a poll in the G space if possible or discourse. Then we can have a discussion.
okay, great. Thank you.
Vivek got a point. Yeah.